In this video, you'll discover why you can't lose weight even though you're doing keto. So you read all the transformational stories online. You saw the pictures on Instagram. You went to work and you heard your coworkers talk about the amazing results that they got following the ketogenic diet. So you thought to yourself, I want to lose some weight too. I'm going to give that a try. You go and you start following the ketogenic diet and you really don't lose any weight at all. Or maybe you lost a couple pounds and it came to a screeching halt. Well, the truth is that the ketogenic diet works, but the other truth is that your strategies might just not be right. And so what I'm going to teach you in this video is the top mistakes people are making and the top things that you need to know to get you on track in order to hit your weight loss goals while following the ketogenic diet. At the end of this video, I'll give you a couple biohacks that are going to help you get better results. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Zarowski and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and join our notification community. That way it can help you excel your health and your life. Now let's go ahead and get started. The first question I'm going to ask are you even keto? You know, as a clinician, I have the opportunity to work with a lot of people. And the thing that I realize is a lot of people who are telling me that they're following the ketogenic diet, in fact, are not following it. They're following a low carb diet. And yes, there is a difference. A ketogenic diet, you got to lower those carbs down. You got to have your macros in place. A low carb diet, you can add more carbs in there. And there's a little bit more wiggle room for you to, basically have your macros off. When it comes to the ketogenic diet, you got to be on point with it. Now, the thing is that when following the ketogenic diet, you need to be in the state of ketosis to get results. And so if you're just eating a high-fat diet and your friend next to you is actually in the state of ketosis following the ketogenic diet, they will get good results and you likely won't. And so what we have to know here is, first of all, it can take upwards of 2 to 3 weeks to get into the state of ketosis. And then the other thing is that in order to measure ketosis, we want to actually use a meter that's going to look at the ketone level in your blood. I use something called the Precision Extra Meter, and I'll put a link in the description below so you can check that out. But when we take this meter and we look at our ketone levels, we want to make sure that we're between 0.5 and 3 millimoles per deciliter, okay? That's really where we need to be in order to be in ketosis. The sweet spot is right around 1.5. Now, there's some other signs that you can look at to know whether or not you're in ketosis. You can look at hunger. If your hunger is decreased, that's a good sign. If you're someone who has more focus, more brain power, that's a good sign. If your sugar cravings, your carbohydrate cravings go down, that's a good sign as well. If you're having increased energy, you're not having blood sugar swings throughout the day, a bunch of highs and lows, that is a good indicator as well that you're in ketosis. Fat loss is another one, and then of course decreased inflammation. Now, the reason decreased inflammation occurs is because you basically are going and following a non-inflammatory diet, and then you're just going to basically feel your joints and all these little aches and pains you've had for a long time start to disappear, and that's a great sign as well. So let's go ahead, keep moving on, and talk about macro measurements. This is another reason that a lot of people fail at the ketogenic diet and don't lose weight. Now, this is very important. You have to consider a couple things. You have to figure are there too many carbohydrates in your diet, too much protein, and conversely, we don't want to have too little protein. It can cause problems like hair loss. And then we also want to make sure that we don't have too much fat in our diet. A lot of people start following the ketogenic diet and they think to themselves, well, I need to just eat a whole bunch of fats. But we have to realize that when we're eating that much fat, it is very caloric dense. And so 1 gram of fat has 9 calories in it. And when we look at carbs or protein, that has about 4 calories per gram. So the fat has a lot of calories, and then it becomes a simple equation of calories in, calories out. Regardless of you following the ketogenic diet, if you're eating an enormous amount of calories, you're just not going to lose weight. So we want to make sure that our macros are on point. Now, one of the things I'll do is I'll put a link in the description to an article that has basically how you go about finding your proper macros, how you measure them up, and also all the different great foods that you can eat while on the ketogenic diet. So definitely jump into that if you're having concerns about how to measure your macros. Let's talk about this now. Oops, I did it again. And for those of you who realize it, I apologize in advance for this reference, but I just had to. When we look at following the ketogenic diet, one of the things that happen, especially to me as a clinician, is that you get working with patients and all of a sudden you realize I'm so hungry but I can't leave because I'm busy and I have nothing else to eat but non-keto foods. And that happens to everybody. You get busy and you're hungry and you have nothing to go to but something that's going to throw you out of ketosis. And this happens to a lot of people. They're following the ketogenic diet and they think, they make excuses for themselves. Well, this is the only thing I have. This is what I have to do. But the problem is that when you go and you throw in a different snack food or something that's throwing you out of ketosis, you're really messing yourself up there. So we want to make sure that we have some good go-to keto foods around us all the time. Some of my favorites are macadamia nuts, avocados, keto bars, hard-boiled eggs, and also some jerky. So having these available, ready to go, is a really powerful thing when you're following the ketogenic diet, because you don't want to keep coming out of it just because you don't have food available there all the time. You can keep some of these in your car, you can really have them available and keep them in your bag, whatever. Now let's talk about exercise. Recently I saw a piece of content that said how to lose weight without exercise, or how to lose weight while on the ketogenic diet without exercise. I would never promote how to do something without exercise, because exercise is an essential nutrient to our genetics. Just like, different vitamins are, vitamin A, B, and C, exercise is essential too. If you don't have exercise in your life, it is a deficiency because it's required by our genetics. And so we want to make sure that we're adding exercise in. And if you're doing keto but not exercising, you're cutting yourself short. And it may be something that you have to do in order to get results. So what's best? I like doing resistance training about 30 minutes. You can do at least 30 minutes, I should say. And as far as how much, I like to typically do about 3 days of resistance training a week. Now that may be 2 days for you, whatever's right for you, but adding in resistance training is really good. Not only does it help build muscle, it helps keep you lean, it helps keep you toned, it keeps you, happy with your overall body. And we also want to look at high intensity interval training. This is something I typically do a couple times a week as well. And we talk about all these different types of exercise out there, but one of the best exercises that you can do, especially if you have insulin resistance, is you can do high intensity interval training. The reason this works so well is because it really helps balance out your blood sugar. And I'm not talking about some very hardcore 20-minute, 25-minute high intensity interval training, but just doing it for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning when you wake up is very powerful for balancing your blood sugar all day long. It's one of the best things that you can do if you have insulin resistance. And so give that a try and let me know how it works for you, because it's very, very powerful. Now you can do that daily. You could do it every morning. You could go ahead and even do those on the same day that you are doing your resistance training. Switch it up a little bit. If once a week is right for you, figure out what's right for you. And that's the key. When it comes to sustainability with all this stuff, it's about figuring out what's right for you. But I'm here to tell you, if you have insulin resistance, it could be one of the reasons you're not getting great results on the ketogenic diet, and high intensity interval training is very powerful. 4, 5, 10 minutes first thing in the morning, really good stuff. And the research backs that up to a high extent. Too many meals. This is another area that people struggle with. When following the ketogenic diet, a lot of people think, well, as long as I'm in ketosis, I can just, eat as much as I want, as often as I want. But the problem is then they start getting kicked out of ketosis. They start not having weight loss. So what you can do is actually add in intermittent fasting, and it really is an amazing pair. And there's basically 2 ways you can do it. You can do 16 and 8 intermittent fasting. You could open that gap up a little bit more, all the way down to doing 1 meal a day. And then the question becomes, well, do I need to do this daily? And for the most part, a lot of people see best results when doing it daily. Now you can go back and forth between intermittent fasting. You can do 1 meal a day. You can just really switch it up. And the key is that if you're doing ketosis and you're not getting those hunger pains and things of that nature, intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, becomes very easy at that point. So give that a try, because that can really help skyrocket your results. Now the next here is results indicator. Now this is important because a lot of people, when they look at results, they use very poor indicators, right? The first here is total weight loss. That's the top thing people are looking at. Well, I did the ketogenic diet for like 3 weeks and I lost a pound. It didn't do anything for me. Well, that is a very poor indicator of health, and you'll see why here in just a moment. Let's keep moving. Fat loss. This is a better indicator, okay? So if you're losing fat, if you're actually measuring inches, things of that nature, that's a better indicator that you're actually getting results than total weight loss. Now, when we look at the best thing that you can do is total well-being, okay? So if you're following the ketogenic diet, maybe you didn't have any total weight loss. And the reason for it is you may have actually started gaining muscle mass. You probably started gaining some better bone density. The other thing is that when it comes to total body weight, it's not the important indicator to look at. How were your energy levels? How were your focus? How was your sleep at night? How were the different pains that you normally feel throughout your body? Did those start to diminish? And then, of course, did you start to lose some fat? But then, you may have had all those amazing results, then you stepped on the scale and you said, well, I didn't lose any weight. So you want to make sure that when doing the ketogenic diet, you're looking at total well-being and not just a number on a scale. Let's go ahead, keep moving on here to Keto Hacks. Okay, here's some top things that you can do in order to get the best results and really stay in the state of ketosis so that you can lose that fat. Sauna therapy is really great. So using a sauna every single day is powerful, or even a couple times a week. One of the things you can do is go to your gym and use the sauna. Some people have saunas in your home, depending on where you're from. Like in certain countries, it's standard to have a sauna in your home. So using an infrared sauna has not only tons of health benefits, but it also will help you stay in ketosis. It's something that I've used in my life in order to help me stay in ketosis while following the ketogenic diet. Cold therapy is another one. You can use cryotherapy, where you go to like a cryotherapy place and they put you in a little chamber and they do it that way, or you can just do an ice bath at home. It increases the brown fat on your body, it increases your metabolism, helps you stay in ketosis. Now, the other thing is that if you want to learn more about this, I'll put a link to a video I did on it right up here, how to do it, some of the other benefits you get from it. And then lastly, let's talk about this, accountability partner. I know that this sounds kind of like simple, but the thing is that when I find people who are following a diet and they're failing at it, and they're basically doing it all alone in their home, their husband's not on board, the wife's not on board, the kids aren't on board, the coworkers are all looking at them like they're crazy, everybody's telling them they're going to fail, there's a good chance, yes, they're going to fail. So it's so important to make sure you have that accountability person, the friend, the family, the coworker, anyone to really help keep you on track, and of course, give you that motivation to stay following the ketogenic diet until you get the results that you're looking for. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section here below. If you want to learn more about weight loss, apple cider vinegar, exercise, fasting, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then you'll be locked in to get all of our new content. And then lastly, check out our other videos over here on how you can improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.